microphone there. So there we go. 3, 2, and 1. All right, Mary Katie. Well, welcome back. Welcome to 2021.
Happy New Year.
Yes, happy New Year to WSAU and WSAU.com. It's been a year already. I think a lot of people have said. We'll start out though by some of the things that you're looking forward to here in 2021 before we get into other things. First off, I know there was a few discussions about a week or so ago about a low-income housing and things like that here in Wausau, because I know that's something that's been a focus for a few years. That the need for low-income affordable housing, whatever it is you'd like to call it, and that's something that I'm sure you would like to see move forward as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we had that discussion at the latest Economic Development Committee meeting. As you saw, we issued an RFP for single family homes on Thomas Street. And we got exactly one response. So, that was part of the discussion. And, folks were saying, these houses, it doesn't feel like that's affordable or, in line with the neighborhood. So that was a discussion. Ultimately the committee voted to move forward with that, but they also said, we need to look at what the low income housing options are for Wausau and what can we do? And, the idea of a task force was brought up. So I've been talking over the last couple of days with some folks. We obviously have a relationship with people in HUD. We have people, state departments. We have various, options. I talked to United Way, and we're like, okay, what is it that we're trying to accomplish with this? And I think first of all, we want to make sure that everyone knows what resources are available. We have the Community Development Authority. We have different rental assistance programs. We have all kinds of things, and maybe it's a matter of publicizing that. We haven't really done that. And then, we talked, is there a need here? Because it does seem that every time something's built, they're getting snapped up. So what is it that we need? So we're talking about a needs assessment. Maybe that's something we need to work on as a group, and that will help inform work of a potential task force. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's only been a couple of days, so kind of taking stock of what we need to do, the work ahead, and also wondering what's ahead when it comes to federal action on things like this. Right now we still have an eviction moratorium. Are we going to see that extended? Landlords are kind of feeling a little bit of the pinch here. So we want to make sure that we're kind of attacking it from all these different angles, making sure we have the right people talking to us about it. Oftentimes it's us talking about a need that we think exists for people. Well, we need to bring people who are affected in and hear from them. So is it a public hearing that we hold? And that helps inform what we do. So, we have a lot of options right now, and we're just working on kind of focusing them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is something that it seems like we've heard it a lot in the comments section, so to speak, whenever something like the Mountain View Lanes apartment complex goes up or River Life goes up, and people are looking at those rents in the area of $900 to $1,200 a month. And they're saying, who's moving into these apartments? Who actually needs them? Because a lot of people seem to see it, that we need something in the $600 to $700 a month range, maybe the $800 a month range, something that can be affordable on a lower budget.
Right. Yeah. So that's exactly it. We just need to kind of go through and assess what we have, what people are looking for, and if there's anybody to serve those needs. Obviously, the city is not really the landlord of for people in most scenarios. So we want to make sure that we're putting out RFPs maybe and specifically targeting them at these organizations that do these. The Landmark's a really good example of a tax credit project that we're doing. And those will be more in line, I think, with the rents that people are asking for. But, it's not going to hit everybody. And there's still going to be a bigger need. Some of the income qualified places we have around, people have complained that they can't get into. So, we gotta just keep working on having that variety of options for people.
Yep, and that's something that you're going to be looking forward to and working towards in the new year, I'm guessing. So, do you have a timeline on any of this, on when you'd like to maybe see this specific situation be addressed, or at least the task force?
I think when it comes to the task force and to that concept, I want to bring some more information to the Economic Development Committee, because, they didn't really give me a policy direction. I can definitely take it and run with it if that's what they want. But I would like to know that this is the direction they want to go. And I want to make sure that people start applying to be a part of this task force that should be. I looked at Pittsburgh and they had an affordable housing task force. And one of the things that they had was they had congressional representation on there and they had their state legislators on there. So, making sure you're taking full advantage of the programs and you understand the scope of what's available would be really great. It would be amazing if our representative wanted to be a part of this or allocate somebody here or somebody from our senator's office. So that's something I'm looking at too. Like what are other people doing? And also looking at what they did and what the outcome of that was. It's just understanding that the timeline for task forces in general, it's a year and a half before, once you get started to when you finally have those recommendations, it is some heavy lifting for staff and for researching. So it's not an instant solve, but for the long term, it will be good.
Yeah, and again, that's something that you have to be looking at long and short term here in the city. Something that's going on right now, short term. Of course, we hope it's short term anyway. Speaking of things that you'd like to take and run with, the mask education measure and proposal that you had as far as masking up in city buildings and things like that. This kind of went in with the mask recommendation that came from the city council. Of course, we're still kind of waiting to see when statewide things are going to be allowed to expire or things like that. But can you tell us just exactly how that's gone and how
Yeah.
you're taking that?
Sure. Yeah. So part of the direction that I got from council was, hey, we want a little bit more education. We want promotion. We want to make sure people are understanding what we're asking of them and why. So I've been working with a group of people inside, and then we were working with an agency to kind of figure out like, okay, how do we want to push this out there? How do we want to engage the community? Do we want to give away masks? Is that the thing? So part of it is deciding what the community needs from us and how we best serve that. So I'm thinking in the next few weeks, we'll have a little bit kind of bubbling out a little bit more. I feel good about the direction we're going. My the way I behave and the way my online persona is maybe a little bit sassier than others. So we're kind of tempering that with a message from the city. So we're working through it. It'll be good. I think that the other thing that we are thinking about is it's not just masking at this point, right? We have a vaccine rollout. So how do we encourage folks to avail themselves of that resource once it's available to the rest of the community? So we're kind of tying that into. It's going to be important that as many people as can will vaccinate.
Yeah, and as soon as they can, and as soon as it's appropriate for them to do so as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think anybody that has seen tweets or anything like that from that you've got it down. You've got the emojis for social distancing, mask wearing, hand washing, all of that stuff almost on a daily basis. Actually, uh,
Trying.
I know this is something that's been close and near and dear to you.
Yep. It's definitely important. We all gotta pitch in here.
And again, hopefully sometime this summer we will be able to get together in the same space and
Oh,
celebrate the
we're
fact.
gonna celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna celebrate 4th of July, balloons, chalk, all of it, Thanksgiving, like all at the same time. That's what I need.
All at the same time and on
Yes.
the 4 o'clock as well. So anyway, we wanted to talk about as well from this week. Obviously, we can't you know go through something like this without talking about what everybody was watching with the history that we saw on Wednesday at the Capitol and the protests that turned into rioting, that turned into storming the Capitol building and things like that. Just give us an idea of what it was like for you on Wednesday, and I mean what was going through your mind, and were you having any conversations with public safety officials here in either Wausau or statewide as well to prepare for something like this starts to spell out into the rest of the lower 48. What are we going to do and how are we going to be prepared?
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations. I probably yesterday was the day where I had most text messages from people asking if I was safe and all of these things. And it wasn't something that I had considered for myself, of course I'm safe. I'm fine. We're good. Got a panic button, like we're fine. Um, but you do worry about this. You do worry about the rhetoric and the very how charged it was, and I enjoy political theater, right? There's a little bit of it I like, and probably more than most people I enjoy it, and I can appreciate that political arena, that maybe the congressional representatives and the senators, come into. You got to fight. You are in the octagon to get to that seat. But there comes a point where you have to kind of set that aside and start governing. And I think we're seeing some of that spill over from the politicking into the governing. And it was very stark yesterday. And just seeing those images of our capital, I don't know. And the commentary that the last time this happened was the War of 1812, and that was an enemy combatant. It's concerning. So of course, I acknowledge the history of it, and I acknowledge how we've come this last election cycle, this last 4 years, even the last 12 years, right? It's been a wild ride. But we got to get it together. We got to have expectations of our representatives that we're not going to be stoking these political fires forever, that we're going to get down to the job of governing. And so that's where I'm at. And of course, when it comes to Wausau, we're very on it when it comes to safety. I've been in contact with the police chief multiple times about this. That we don't have any reason to believe that anybody would be coming here and doing anything like that. But if they do, good luck. I mean, we're safe here. We're set.
Yeah, because when we see these things happen, it's normally something that we say, okay, this, you take the labels off this, you think that this would be happening in, the Czech Republic or Bosnia Herzegovina, wherever. This is something that happens in the powder keg of Europe. This isn't something that happens here in America. So when it does, I'm sure, at least that's where my thoughts went, is, how ready are we in something, if in a situation like this, if this
Yeah.
does, spill over into the surrounding states and eventually becomes something that is felt nationwide, because
Yeah.
we've seen it happen before, and it's certainly something that I imagine that you've been talking about as well, not only now but from everything that happened last summer as well, with the police department, the fire
Right.
department, and things like that.
Right. Yeah. And I think, one of the things you just kind of sit back and consider is that, well, democracy isn't just a given, right? Like we have agreed on this as citizens of this nation that we want to adhere to these principles of democracy. And I suppose we could agree that we don't want to adhere to these principles either. I certainly want to. I want democratic principles. I think that what we have here is special in America. It might not be perfect, but I would say that it's a lot better than a monarchy or a dictatorship or an oligarchy. And it's it's not just politics. Sometimes it is democracy, and we have to be on the same team together, at least with regards to those principles.
So I guess with that being said, I know you're somebody that's been to inaugurations several times. We've got one coming up here in 2 weeks. Obviously, have you decided yet? Are you going to go and
you
take the
know
inauguration of Joe Biden, or is that
This is a challenging time right now, and I know that everybody knows that I'm passionate about kind of bearing witness to our country and these things. But there's a lot of opportunity to see it online, a lot of opportunities to participate in various things online. It feels like the responsible thing as mayor to be here.
yeah? We'll sit this one out. There will be another one in 2024. At least we assume. We shouldn't maybe assume anything,
Oh my, sir!
but we would like to think so.
I believe in democracy. We got this. It's challenged every now and then, but we got this.
That's what I like to hear. Finally, before we let you go, we are in winter. That means potholes. Let you go on a little bit of a lighter note. Mayor's pothole hotline. I know that was something that your predecessor was very big into, very proud of. The Mayor's pothole hotline, is that still up and running
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
taking
yeah, that's still running. You got a pothole problem, you give it a call. So yeah, we don't have any reason to stop anything like that. I think it's been helpful. And I hear that people are still calling, so, yeah.
All right. Well, if you got a pothole, just give the mayor's pothole hotline a call, and 48 hours right away, like
I
that, it disappears, right?
I hope so. I'll hear it if it doesn't.
Right. Exactly, exactly. Because again, I'm sure. Has this something that you've been out yet with the road crews with a pothole filling? Have you done some of that yet?
I haven't had a chance to do the pothole filling.
Okay.
There was a little bit of demoing that I had an opportunity to be around, so that was kind of fun. I just did a police ride along over the New Year, so uh, I'm getting around. I'm trying.
Get there eventually. We expect a full report on what the pothole filling crew duties are like
Yeah,
in a couple of
do a
months.
tweet along.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mary Katie, we always appreciate the time for this. We look forward to chatting again next month, and again, hopefully in a few months, actually being in the same room together.
Oh my, so exciting.
Yeah, Zoom from 3.5 blocks away.
Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you so much.